boy and his newspaper bringing people together. Can you see the CJ Schwann sign in Sioux Falls? And something new every day leading up to Sanford International. This is Inside the Newsroom, and I'm your host, Maddie Paul. Inside the Newsroom, we bring you the trending stories of the KELOLAND area. And best part of all, we bring in our newsroom staff members to talk about these stories that you see every day on our newscasts and online at KELOLAND.com. You got a little bit of a tease about what we're going to see later in the show, but to start off, every day leading up to the Sanford International brings something new and different at the Minnehaha Country Club. In fact, yesterday was Women's Day. So Travis Fossing tells us what this means, that day means, for both pro golfers and non-golfers.
Golfers were arriving by the busload Tuesday morning for Women's Day at the Sanford International.
Women's Day, in my mind, kicks off tournament week.
Tenny Snyder is the assistant tournament director and says it's a day of celebration.
It's a great way for women in this community to get together, great networking, great camaraderie, and really we just celebrate tournament week and being out here at Minnehaha Country Club.
Women's Day at the Sanford International is a day dedicated to women, not just golfers.
We've got the Pro-Am that starts off this morning, but we've got about 200 additional women that join us for the luncheon. And golf fan or not, it's just fun to see them at Minnehaha Country Club and taking in all of that it has to offer.
It's great to see so many women come together just to support the event as well as get together and network.
Cindy Rarick is a professional golfer and part of the Sanford Golf Academy and always enjoys her time at the Sanford International.
Just being able to share some of my experiences with others and that have questions and just to enjoy and meet new people.
And Snyder says that's what Women's Day is all about.
Celebrate the tournament, celebrate being together, but also just celebrate women and the work that they do in this community.
And Travis Fossing joins us now at the digital desk. Let's talk more about Sanford International, Travis, because this entire week you've been covering lots of different angles that go into Sanford International. And it's really bringing awareness to me about everything that goes on leading up to this Friday for the PGA Tour Champions event. So as you've been covering stories this week, what do you think makes it such a standout event for Sioux Falls?
Well, it's special because it's a professional tournament. We don't often get events this big in Sioux Falls. A lot of different things happen here, but this is a true professional golf event. And a lot of people out there are golf fans and want to check it out. And the whole week leading up, they have different events. They have pro-ams for men. They have pro-ams for women. They have pro-ams for any of the above. But yesterday, again, was Women's Day out at the tournament, and they had some other events going on as well. But in the days ahead, they'll have more pro-ams leading up to the actual tournament starting on Friday.
Right. There's just so much that it offers for even like kids, just being able to get out there and explore that course. What are you looking forward to when the PGA Tour Champions event does start?
It's always fun to watch the fans along the ropes. They follow along with some of their favorite players and just want to experience a golf tournament. And that's the beauty of golf, is you can be moving constantly out on the course, or you can set up shop in one seat, maybe at the 18th green, and just watch all the golfers come through, or you can follow your favorite pros. So it's kind of different from other sports where you're in one seat throughout the course of an event. Here you can follow along with your favorite player from hole to hole to hole, 18 of them across the course.
So would you rather watch or would you rather play?
Well, the status of my golf game, I better watch.
Really? Oh, I can imagine you doing really good at swinging.
I used to be able to play golf a little bit anyway, but not quite as good now. I'd chunk up the course, tear up the course a little bit too much for their liking. So.
Oh, that's too bad. I just learned how to hold a golf club like a week ago.
Well,
so
that's a good start.
Isn't it? And this is just much more fascinating to me now that I feel like I'm a golf player. Well, speaking of things that I've recently started being into is fantasy football. And yesterday you were sitting over there working really hard and listening to me ramble with everyone else here at the digital desk about how the heck do I do fantasy football? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my fantasy team because Travis, I just need your help.
All right,
I need you to be the one to guide me through this. I feel like you have the expertise.
Well, I try. I've won some fantasy leagues over the years. I won 2 of them last year out of my 4. I'm in 4. But I will tell you, I was 0-4 in week 1. So not off to the best of starts this year. And partially because of that guy on your list, Xavier Worthy, who took a big 0.
I know.
He was in 3 of my 4 starting lineups. So that did not help the cause.
Oh, so we're overlapping a little bit on players.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, this is my deck right now, except I got Jake Bates right down there.
Yep. See that 0 by Worthy? He's most likely not going to play this week. Hopefully he won't be out too long. You're going to want to move him to your bench.
Okay. And then here's the bench.
Yeah. So your bench, you got some pretty good options. You got Cooper Kupp down there.
Yep.
Matthew Golden, the Green Bay offense, should put up some points against Washington. So I wouldn't be afraid to play Golden.
Okay.
Rice would be a nice option, but he's suspended for the first part of the season. I have him in one of my leagues too, and he's just kind of tucked away on the bench. So
see, he was in my he was in my team in week 1. And so it was
he was in your starting lineup in week 1.
And so I've already moved him. Already got him out of the way.
Nice job.
But I kicked him when he was suspended. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know why. But okay, so the question is, and I raised this question to viewers yesterday. I've gotten some feedback, and now I feel like you're going to be the one that I listen to.
I'll try. Pressure's on.
Yeah, exactly. The questionable sign on Xavier Worthy. I'm kicking him out. I'm going to take him out. And so looking at my bench, I've heard the same reaction. Either someone like Cooper Kupp or Matthew Golden should go in.
I think Matthew Golden has the better matchup against Washington. At Pittsburgh might be a little bit tough for the Seattle offense, but Pittsburgh did give up some points to the Jets. So, you probably can't go wrong. If it's me, just seeing it for the first time, I'd probably go with Matthew Golden.
Okay. I will make that decision. And this was my points last week. I said yesterday, is there a total points you're supposed to get? And you made fun of me for that. But there's not, right? Because it adds up.
Yeah. It all depends on your league. Some of them go strictly by matchups week to week, and you do reset with every new week. But some leagues keep track of the overall point totals for either tiebreakers in the standings, or some leagues pay according to points. Whoever has the highest points, they might not have the best record necessarily because of matchups week to week. They may have got unlucky, that type of thing.
Okay.
So some keep track of points. So you might want to find that out from your league as well. Are we going by head-to-head record, or are we going by overall points, or a little bit of both?
I don't know.
Okay.
I got to find out. That will be an answer I give to you later, Travis. Okay, let's see if I can move him now. Okay.
All right, yeah,
move.
just click move.
I click move.
Yeah, and then you can put here.
Boom.
But, okay, did you get him in there? I did it. All right, you got him in there. Perfect.
Okay, Travis, if you were looking at this team going into week 2, how strong you feeling for me?
Well, I think Josh Allen's always going to put up points, so that's good. Josh Jacobs has been a solid option at running back. Alvin Kamara had a good week 1 and always seems to put up points down there for New Orleans. Higgins, always a good option. With Cincinnati, they like to throw the ball around.
Okay.
You got Matthew Golden. Hawkinson. Hawkinson's been up and down, but you always, if you're a Vikings fan especially,
I had to pick
a
Vikings player.
Yeah,
I was like, I couldn't get Jefferson, so I'm going to get him.
Now, one of my leagues, I did have Javonte Williams sitting on my bench as he had 2 touchdowns in week 1.
Yep,
so,
but then he's on the
we'll
bench.
see if he continues on against the Giants. Could put up some points. Ravens defense, boy, they...
Oh, is that what that means? That means defense?
Yeah, that's the defense. They struggled against Buffalo. I don't know what you got for a point total in week 1, if it was on the negative side, after giving up 41 to Buffalo.
I think it is negative.
But against Cleveland, I like their odds of putting up some better points as a defense there. And Jake Bates, Detroit's usually a pretty high-scoring team. So kickers are always tough to guess what they're going to do, as long as you try and have one of the best, but... Once you get down to that second tier of kickers, it seems like kickers 3 through 20 typically put up about the same amount of points or can have a great week. You just never know.
Okay, I'm learning a lot, Travis. Okay. This helps. And something on Inside the Newsroom I want to do, I want to keep giving updates each week. I do a little recap, show off what's going on. So we'll see what happens week 2.
All right.
I'm feeling hopeful. Thank you so much, Travis. And thank you for talking about Sanford International right here for Inside the Newsroom. And everyone, stick around. We're going to exit the world of fantasy football, and we're going to get back to our trending stories in the KELOLAND area. In fact, we're going to learn how you can help others during Hunger Action Month. Stay with us. A reporter is joining us next after the break. Welcome back to Inside the Newsroom. There's a way that you can help others during Hunger Action Month, which is this month. And Summer Roddershot explains.
There was a sea of orange at Feeding South Dakota today.
We're wearing orange because it's Hunger Action Day. We want to spread awareness for hunger in South Dakota.
With the budget cuts that happened earlier this year, the nonprofit is feeling the need now more than ever.
With those recent cuts in loads that we would have typically received from the USDA, we've really been working hard to fundraise in order to replace those foods that we're now missing, kind of that gap area.
Which is why an important partnership this month is helping them combat the loss of money and resources.
The First Interstate Bank is our matching sponsor for Hunger Action Month. They've been a tremendous supporter of ours, and so every gift made this month will be matched by First Interstate Bank.
But if you are unable to give monetarily, the nonprofit also needs volunteers to help people across the state stay fed.
Hunger really goes outside of just Sioux Falls, Pierre, and Rapid City, and our work really is in all 66 counties of our state. Whether we're doing our mobile distributions in those communities or we're partnering with community partners to help be that food resource for them to feed their community.
Volunteers make an impact anywhere, even if it's simply being at our front desk or if it's helping clean the warehouse. They're helping us in some way or another.
And here's Summer Roddershot with us at the digital desk to talk more about this story. Summer, it seemed like it was pretty busy inside that facility or warehouse, wherever they were packing the food. What was the atmosphere like while you were inside there recording?
Yeah, so it felt busier than usual. I walked in, I literally told them, like, wow, it's busy in here today. But the people that were packing the food, and I don't know what group they were with, but they were just so joyful. Like, they were like talking to us the whole time, talking to each other. They sort of just seemed happy to be there and to be giving back. I know that sounds cheesy, but genuinely, they had such a great attitude about themselves and about being there that day. They were excited to be there and serving others.
Yeah, and it's all according to the mission of Feeding South Dakota, to make sure South Dakotans are fed right here in our state. But, you know, they did have the budget cuts that we learned about this past summer. But despite those cuts, it sounds like Feeding South Dakota is still trying to be hopeful. Is that correct?
Yeah. So obviously they still have some areas where the budget cuts, they're feeling that. But they said they're doing everything they can to, you know, buy more in bulk, to stretch their budget where they can. And then obviously, like this month, you know, they have a bunch of people helping them out also with the First Interstate Bank match. I did stories in the past where they got massive donations of milk during, I believe it was Milk Month. I think it was Milk Month. And then like others, like during Beef Month, they got these huge donations of beef. So even though they're feeling those effects of those budget cuts, people are stepping up in the community and helping them out where they can.
Because there's lots of volunteer opportunities. What kind of ways did you learn about while you were out there doing the interviews?
Yeah, so I feel like whenever we go out to do a story with Feeding South Dakota, we always see the people packing the food. So people always think, oh, maybe that's the only way that you can volunteer. That is so very wrong. You can also help at their distributions that happen around this state. You can help at the front desk. They're like, we always need somebody to smile. They said even if you're good at like office work and you have time to help out that way, cleaning the warehouse, like little things, all these little things that you're like, oh, well, maybe I can't stand and pack for so long. Oh, I can sit at the front desk and smile at people as they come in. You know, there's just a bunch of different ways where I'm sure if you're like, hey, Feeding South Dakota, this is the way I can help, they'll be like, you got the job. Like, come on over. Come on over. So.
I love it because the more bodies, the better. It just makes a bigger impact for their mission.
Exactly.
Is there anything else that you'd like viewers to know about this story, Summer?
You know, I think we were just talking yesterday, and I know we've all heard it before, but, you know, Feeding South Dakota expands far beyond Sioux Falls, Pierre, and Rapid City. Like, they're in, I believe, all 66 counties in this state. If not all of them, almost all of them. So it's not just a Sioux Falls thing, even though this base is in Sioux Falls. So this affects not just Sioux Falls. This affects the entire state of South Dakota, which I think is just important to keep in mind when you're hearing about all the work that they're doing.
Summer, thank you so much for joining us here at the Digital Desk. And everyone, stick around. I have a question for you. Can you see the CJ Swan sign in Sioux Falls? Well, we actually have an answer for you coming up next on Inside the Newsroom. And welcome back to Inside the Newsroom. CJ Schwann's is building a 700,000 square foot Asian food plant in Foundation Park in Sioux Falls. However, this week, the company put its sign on another building. Here to explain it is our digital reporter, Ray Yost, who looked into these details. And Ray, to start off, how is CJ Schwann's building their presence here in Sioux Falls?
Well, first of all, it's like you mentioned, they're building a rather large Asian food manufacturing facility in one of our industrial parks. So that is a huge project in itself. I think at one point when they announced it, they were saying maybe 600 jobs at the start. So that's one way. And the other way is they're moving an office into downtown Sioux Falls to basically kind of it's related to that construction of the food manufacturing. They're moving to the River Center, and they announced this week the installation of a sign on the exterior of that building in the downtown area of Sioux Falls.
Well, I love your headline. Like, can you see the CJ Schwann sign in Sioux Falls? So did you find an answer to your question, Ray?
You should be able to see it. So yesterday I was coming back on 10th Street, coming into what you would say is the downtown and the area along the Big Sioux River. And you can definitely see the sign from that direction. I think you can see it from the other as well, on the other side of the building. But it definitely is a presence in terms of when you think about downtown Sioux Falls, there's some bank signs, there's a couple of, we have the big Steel District sign, we have some, another bank sign, but Ide Bailey sign. I mean, there's signs on exteriors that tell you who kind of is there.
Yeah, and you spoke to the Chamber of Commerce for Sioux Falls for this story. And through that interview, how did that build your own understanding about CJ Schwann's relationship with Sioux Falls?
Well, if you think about it, it's kind of obvious, but a sign is literally a sign of a visible presence. And folks may not be able to drive out to the Foundation Park every day or even occasionally to know that there's that plant out there, which might have several hundred workers. So putting a sign on the exterior is just a kind of gives notice that, hey, we're here, we're proud to be here. You may know somebody who works for us, or you may actually buy our products. The other thing that they did with this is the relationship was that, hey, we're committing monetarily to the future of Sioux Falls. We want to be a community partner. So it's a little of everything.
I love it. And what kind of research did you put while getting this story together?
Well, some of it was, news releases do work in the sense that they want you to follow up. Well, we followed up on this because, hey, it's kind of a big deal. The second thing was I wanted to see what the chamber thought, or possibly the development corporation in Sioux Falls is there. CJ Schwann's is donating $250,000 to Forward Sioux Falls. So that's quite a large amount of money over the next few years to that program. So you want to contact those players, maybe like the chamber who's involved in that program.
Right.
So, yeah.
Is there anything else that you'd like viewers to know about your story?
I just think that, you'd be probably surprised at some of the CJ Schwann's products because they're an offshoot of the original Schwann Food Company, and they're part of the South Korean-based CJ company. And, they make a lot of food. They make Red Baron pizza. They make a lot of Asian products. Egg rolls is what they're going to be making in Sioux Falls. So there's quite a few things that you probably buy that are related to CJ Schwann.
Well, now I'm hungry. Ray, thank you so much for coming here at the Digital Desk with these details. And everyone stick around because up next, we are talking about a boy and his newspaper, bringing people together right here in Sioux Falls. Stay with us. We'll be right back on Inside the Newsroom. And welcome back to Inside the Newsroom. The power of the press is in full force, especially for one southeastern Sioux Falls neighborhood. And it's all thanks to a fifth grader. Lauren Solik brings us the news.
This may look like just a group of friends going for a bike ride, but these kids are on a special mission: deliver the news.
I started out with giving 11 houses on the newspaper, and now I'm up to like 30 or something.
At the center of this group of newsies is fifth grader Ollie Allerton.
So I was at church, and an old woman went up on the podium and said when she was a kid, she would wake up really early in the morning and roll up newspapers and deliver them on a route, on a paper route. And so I thought that would be fun.
But it's not just any news Ollie and his friends are delivering. It's his very own paper called Master Chicken News. So what do you write about in your newspaper?
Just what's going on in the neighborhood, and sometimes a riddle or like a joke or a picture, a poem or something. Or like something that happened that was like interesting, or like animal sightings too.
This is the 20th edition of Master Chicken News, which Ollie has been creating for about 2 summers now with the help of his mom, sister, and friends. And his neighbors have come to look forward to these deliveries.
We love Master Chicken. We love that it brings all the neighborhood kids together. We love the editor. He's so creative.
I think that it's brought the community together. I've gotten to know neighbors that I've spent years not knowing what their names were or where they lived. And it's a really cozy neighborhood. It's really friendly. And I think that this has just heightened the friendliness of everybody.
Neighborhood stories that have become about much more than just words on a paper.
Just recently, one of my friends said that after I started giving out the newspaper, everybody's been more social in the neighborhood, so that made me happy.
What a special story. And Lauren Stolik joins us at the digital desk now. Finally, Lauren, it's been too long. I finally had time, and I needed you on this one because I have a very pressing question to start. How did Ollie come up with Master Chicken News, the greatest title I've heard in a long time?
Yeah, so he basically told me he was on vacation in Hawaii, and he scared a rooster there, and it started following him. And I guess that's how he came up with this, with the name of his newspaper.
Wow, the creativity that he has is just so cool. And you know, reading your story and then also watching your story, you come up with a creative journey for us all to watch too, because we see the kids put the paper together and then we're along with them for the bike rides as they're going out to deliver the papers. So for you, what made you to decide to tell this story in the shoes of the group of newsies?
Yeah, well, I think just being there in general as they were delivering it and like putting the final touches on the newspaper, it kind of helped inspire me as to how I wanted to write it. But I mean, I feel like just starting it with them riding their bikes to be like, oh, this is just like a normal group of kids riding their bikes, which it is, but they're also doing something special and delivering the news. And so I wanted to tell it that way and be like, it's not just any newspaper, though. It's his very own creation.
Yeah. How long were you out with the kids in that neighborhood?
Probably maybe for a half hour.
Oh, wow. I thought it'd be like 2 hours or something like that. Like seeing those kids. I just thought it would take a long time to deliver so many papers.
No, well, he delivers about 30 just around it. Sorry, in his immediate neighborhood. So it doesn't take him too long to finish it up. But.
Love that. I felt like I was watching an 80s movie. Like the nostalgia of like the kids riding the bikes and giving out papers is just so cool. And that's happening right here. And you know, as you were putting this story together, how did you see that little community grow around the kids as they're delivering Master Chicken News?
Yeah, I think it was so sweet. I mean, just one, to see all the neighborhood kids kind of come together to do that and have fun together. But even talking to Ollie's mom and the neighbor, they were just talking about how it's so sweet that like before that, they were just like neighbors who went about their days, maybe not talking to each other as much. You know, it happens all over the place, but this kind of helped bring them together in a way that they can, you know, have something to share.
And what do you hope viewers take away from this story?
I think that I would just hope that they get maybe like a cozy feeling watching it or a smile. It doesn't need to like change anyone's lives or anything, but just a happy little story for the day.
Is there anything else you'd like viewers to know about Master Chicken News, Ollie, or putting this story together?
Yeah, I mean, I think Ollie's just, it was so sweet to do the story. He actually started writing his first papers like on an old typewriter, but it got jammed, so his last few editions have been on the computer. But it's just so sweet, and how his mom and his older sister help him out. But yeah.
How do we recruit him here?
I know, right?
Like, I could use that. I could use someone helping me out there. Well, Lauren, thank you so much for joining us right here at the Digital Desk to talk about your story.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Of course. And everyone, that's all the time that we have today for Inside the Newsroom. Thank you for watching, and until next time, have a great day, everyone.